So then I kind of revised a lot and make it more like previously more like group discussing, but now it's more like a presentation. Okay, I think particularly when I was trying to give to other people in additional group. So the idea here is really that if you look at the, oh, this is new. This one not everybody have seen probably. This the two coins is one is the coin of my president coin, ASM International, and I try to put this one on top here, and actually you cannot see it now. I see on the fifth slide, do better in your best in the logos on the coin. It really happens. This three things we learn in our class. Okay, I will give you a true story of a graduate student. You probably some of you heard about it. It was many years ago. A young man traveled 1,000 miles to attend grad school. Okay, and his advisor was not there. After a couple of weeks, his advisor came back from vacation, and then the student decided they want to see the professor. I think actually that was not professor, maybe he's a professor. I forgot. For the first time, and it was no appointment. The student just so brave, he went to see, knock on the door to see the professor. And the professor told the student, the first one he said, I did not recruit you as a student. You were assigned to me. Okay. That's because the professor was on vacation. And what do we do after hearing this one? Yes, I'm going to find out the advisor. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to come back to the story at the end of my talk. And what do you think about it? If you came to me, Luke came to me, right? Say, I'm coming to I say, look, I didn't hire you. The department assigned you to me. All right. So you think, what do you do? What do you imagine you want to do? Okay. There was actually one girl came to me a few days ago, wanted to kind of join us. Not really join, I want to experience what we do. Okay, but I told her that in our department it works differently. In our department, professor picks the student. Student agree to join. That's it. You don't have a rotation there. Try different professors. Anyway, that's the experience many years ago. And when you try to answer this kind of thing, because you're going to have this challenge all the time. When you get a job, you get a new boss, you're going to have all these challenges. How do you going to handle those challenges? Actually, some questions you should ask yourself. So first, why am I doing this? Right? Why do I come to grad school? Okay. How can I do it better? And the professor didn't like me, right? Obviously. The professor did not welcome me. But that question was me in 1982. That's 41 years ago. And the professor was not welcome. Then I want to go to PhD. Of course, that was a master at that time. But you're a PhD student, so you want to know what is a PhD? I give you an answer already. PhD is PH is philosophy, D is doctor, right? So doctor of philosophy. So as a doctor of philosophy, you have to ask a question. That's what the philosopher does. Okay. But the philosopher sometimes they don't care how to answer the question. They just answer the question. Okay. But as a doctor, you're going to find the solutions. So you should ask the questions, then find the solutions. You will not just tell your advisor, say, I have a question. But no, that's not work. You have to find an answers for that. Okay, so let's talk about material science. I really think material science is so fantastic because it answers all these questions. The reason is because if you think about thermodynamic is, I'm going to mention that is the second law, right? And the first law. And everything is kind of described by thermodynamics. Nothing is not. Okay. It's only one thing. Universe is not actually. People always talk about it. Can you apply thermodynamics to the universe? Actually, I cannot answer the question. I think you cannot. Okay. The reason is because if you want to apply thermodynamics to something, you have to talk about the observation of thermodynamics, the system, right? But you cannot observe the universe. Because you cannot get outside of the universe to observe it. That's why my thinking that you cannot answer the question, at least for now. But for material science and engineering, I put engineering first because that's how we started this how everything works, right? You got engineering, then you do science. Okay. Turned out science, we start 3 things mostly, or 4 things. You have the thermodynamics, you have the kinetics, you have crystallography, you have defects. Okay. And turned out the TKC, that's how I came out the name, TKC. And if you think about TKC, you talk about the free energy, you talk about the mobility, you talk about the crystallography, you talk about the interface, and you talk about the properties. Okay. So that means a material scientist should be the best people in the world how to manage everything, because you know all the fundamentals here. Okay, you can build up new materials from the genomic point of view. As you know that in 2002, when I was teaching students doing projects, I realized that I need a material genome. That's why I created the name material genome in 2002. I want to thank our students, give me all those inspirations of that. Okay, TKC is thermodynamics, kinetics, and crystallography. So basically, you can look at the 3 letters I put in here. K is the metastable state, you need kinetics, okay? And the thermodynamics give you the goal, and you learn crystallography to overcome the barrier. So I want to give you an experiment. We can do it. Let me see if we can do it here or not. And this one. Okay, if you go this.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags.
That's interesting. Everyone has done the tensor test.
Conducting tensor test, 500 diameter tensor specimen, stainless steel material.
They can rapidly get into that. When you come from space, you can something else.
Engaged tensor specimen between crossheads.
Of course, not many people have done that before.
After yield strength has been determined, remove extensometer and continue test to failure.
Okay. Before me, then you break it and then you find the breaker. It's interesting here is because that's how life is. When you were young, you're very elastic. Okay? You can do all kinds of things. But we become like, as soon as you get high school, you start against the information, right? Against your parents, against school, and you become elastic deformation. That's where your brain starts to change. Your brain is elastic before, became plastic. Do you have to tell you a book I read how the brain changes itself? That's called plasticity of a brain. Yeah. And then you start to develop your life, you get married, have kids, and one day death, right? That's a German word. Okay. So that's basically you think about a different life stage. You can think about where you are now, right? But of course, maybe I have passed maybe the ultimate stress. Maybe I'm going down here now. Actually, I'll show you a slide the next time. Number of people in our group. It goes up and it goes down, then it can be flat. Now, it has been flat for the last 10 years. Okay. So the maximum number of people we had is 22 as of in 2010. Okay. And I know that one day I will be dead, but I don't know when. When I know it, I'm dead. All right. But it's so interesting that even with the same chemistry, very similar chemistry, the materials behave completely different, right? By just different treatment, If you heat up at high temperature, you get a martensite, get arsenide, or change chemistry, you get 100% arsenide, or if you change chemistry, you get ferrite, if you change something, you get martensite, right? They're all iron-based. They just change a little bit. Okay, you get a complete behavior. Some of them have very long life, some have very, very short life, okay? It's pretty interesting. If you think about this one, that's how nature works. Of course, human is part of nature. Okay, so let's get to the TKC of thermodynamics. The first question I'm asking is that why am I doing this? That means you must have a goal. Okay, you have no goal, you cannot evaluate driving force. Right. Kinetics is what's the best way I can do it? I have a goal, right? Of course, the goal, how much money you make. You will think about this one. You guys 20 something years old. How much money do you want when you're 40? That's a good question, right? How much money you want when you're 30? Make a goal then. Like today, think about it, right? Look at 23, 24. Okay? Think about it 6 years later, how much money you want in your bank? 1 million? $500,000? Okay. And then you find the best way to make the money. Oh, you say, okay, that's just another thing that your grad student, you'll be measured by how many papers you publish. How many papers do you want to when you graduate? First author, second author, third author, overall.
I mean, what if you want like many millions of dollars? Shouldn't you drop out of grad school and start a life with that?
That could be. That means you should drop, just like if Bill Gates, you drop out of college and study business, that's why you will not make that much money. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important. You say, let it go. You know, then you choose your path. Okay, but if you say, okay, I really like this kind of philosophy, yeah, but this kind of question asking and solve them, I could grasp. That's absolutely true. It's your goal determines your path. Okay. And then you have to, how can you lower the barrier? Because for you want to make 10 million, right? The barrier is very, very high. So how can you make it lower the barrier? Okay. Well, you want to become professor. I hope you want to become professor, some of you. Okay. So thermodynamics is the state of a system, right? The system most times is metastable. Okay. All the time is metastable, most of the time. You can reach stable, right? With kind of a frame you can set. And it could be unstable. It's so interesting. Everything change is always you through the unstable stage, as in the middle. You want to get married. You got to, you have to overcome the barrier. The barrier make you crazy, right? Okay. It's so uncertain because you see, is that the right person you choose? There's so many people you can choose from. Are you sure you make the right decision? It's very hard. But you have to define it. You say, you want to get married. Okay, that's your goal. Let's see what's the best one you have, right? Okay. Then you see how the way they approach that person so you can make that person accept you. So if you want your goal is higher, your driving force is bigger. Okay. Right? You can drive yourself. You see, I don't know whether you read what Bill Gates said. His goal was not pretty making money per se. His goal was to make everybody has a laptop. That was his goal. He said he wanted to make everybody has a laptop. Okay? Has a computer. No, not has a computer on the desk. That's what he wanted. He probably realized it, right? Today. Okay. So then, because if you don't have this state, you cannot evaluate driving force. If you're always here. Okay, you can evaluate yourself, right? But you can never go over because you don't have a goal there. Without a goal, you cannot evaluate driving force, of course. You cannot evaluate the barrier either. Okay, so you need a reference state. That's very important. Reference could be future or current, but you need both of them. You can calculate driving force. Driving force is differential, and it could be integral. The important thing is that everything you do, you'll always get a resistance, right? Yeah, see, nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. And the important thing is that go backward thinking. Okay, that means don't just see that where you are now, but see that where you want to be. Imagine yourself 30 years to become 1 millionaire. Okay, or 30 years old to become a professor. Okay, then you think about what does it take to become a professor. Well, each position doesn't matter which you can use it or given university level. It will take about 200 people apply for that position. All pretty qualified, right? Decent ones, okay? So you want to be 10 out of the 200 people first. They can select the first level selection, first cut, maybe 10 left. Then for the 10 left, you want to make the next 5, which can switch to 5 in the interview. Right? So what does it take to make you to that stage? Then you can get back, okay, I'm not 26, I want to become a professor. I have 4 years, so what I should do is 4 years so I can be in that group of people, get interviewed. and they have a chance to get a job. Only one person is going to be offered, right? 1 out of 200. Okay. So backward thinking is the most important thing for you to find the best way to go forward. I'm not saying everybody will become professor, right? Because it's a 1 out of 200. Okay. It's pretty competitive. Okay, kinetics. Kinetics because you change state. You change from one state to another state. So you're going to disturb people. You can disturb the environment. Okay. When you disturb the environment is going against you. That's called the Lachatelli principle. Everything you do, the nature is good against you. Okay. It's just the natural. That's that. And they have constraints, right? You have external, internal constraints. Okay. Then the time issue, right? Sometimes you think you worked so hard, you never get it. But remember, the time is always a log scale. Okay. That means you think you made it very, very long, but suddenly you made progress, right? But no, that's not true. It's not sudden. It's because you have spent so much time on that. Okay. So be patient. Then again, back to thinking, because you find the best path, right? Best path. Okay. And I want to stay. I use this law again. We learned you need to stay focused. Okay, that's Newton's law tells us, right? Newton's third law tells us that action versus reaction. So you want action, you don't want a reaction. What does that mean? Because when you try to do something that somebody against you, right? If you're going to fight that person, that's called reaction. You react what against you. Okay. So you don't want to do that. That professor, my professor was telling me, I didn't hire you. I don't want to fire that professor. I said, you should accept me. That's reaction to his action, right? I said, no, I'm not going to do that reaction, but I mean that's what I have to do, right? I want to do my research. Focus on your goal, not on what other people affects you. Okay. The reason is because the only thing you can change is your internal force. Okay. You cannot change anything external. But if you change internal yourself, external will change back. Okay. Well, follow what you do. Okay. So you want to change your internal energy, internal force, so your force will towards your direction you want to go. Of course, if you know the Star Wars, right? May the force be with you. That force is your internal force. That's what you can control. You cannot control what your parents tell you, right? You cannot control anything else, but you can control what you do, what you think. Yeah. So the direction is very important. Like you play golf. There are some people play golf, hit so hard, but direction is wrong. Okay. So the direction is more important than the force itself. Okay, you got direction right now, right? How can you go faster? Okay. Then the second law of second Newton's law is that is the acceleration and accelerate, right? F divided m. F is already fixed, right? Remember that you got external force, your internal force, your F is fixed. What you can do to accelerate is reduce m. Okay, reduce mass. Okay, that means your mass will consume the energy, So you want to reduce the mass. Mass is not only physical. Physical is important. Physical fit is important, right? So as I told you, I do exercise every day. Every morning I do exercise. Okay, I spend half an hour every day exercise. I get up 6:30. I drink something. Then I start exercise 7 o'clock. I finish my exercise 7:30. And another one is mental. That's very important. Many people carry a lot of bags with them. They say, oh, my high school teacher was so bad. She was so mean to me. My friend is such suffered a lot. So I feel so sorry for them. So it's okay. Empathy is good, but don't carry the bags with you. As a mental bag, sometimes consumes so much your energy. Okay. Sometimes the mental, it's actually the mental mass is more important than physical mass. Okay. So that means if somebody is not good to you, that's fine. Forget about it, right? Yeah, forget about it. That's mental mass is extremely important. I have many friends. I can see that. I can see that their energy is so much consumed by their worries, by their past experience. They always talk about it. Every time you talk about a past experience, which is bad experience, it consumes energy. Your memory should only preserve the good ones. Forget about the bad ones, because they don't help you. If you always do that, you do things, then you can have more and more good memories. Then you have be more positive. That's what you do. That's kinetics. Now the next thing is about crystallography. Okay, I have a question to you now. So we talk about if you change from one state to another state, there always a barrier. Doesn't matter what you do. If there's no barrier, that means you're unstable already. There's a top of right. There's no barrier here, right? Okay, that means you overcome barrier already. Okay, so the question is, do you know why is a barrier? Why everything has a barrier? You do. So any change in the system has a barrier. I mentioned it's the nature against you, right? You can say, of course, you can have a signal. Okay. That's one thing. But another thing is that so a signal says that if you do something, entropy will increase. Entropy increase disorder means you'll be less ordered, right? So that's the origin of the barrier. Maybe anybody want to say 1 or 2 words? Maybe somebody you know already, still remember? Waze is working on it now. Why is the barrier? Sorry?
Screen energy.
Yeah, that's right. Free energy. Why is free energy? Why is it insufficient energy, right? Okay. It's because you make the disturbance. You break the bounds. You change the bounds. So everything is the bounding. So because you want to make a change, you want to gain some more, right? You want to gain something. You're going to change the relationship with the surroundings. This relationship will need energy. And then the environment says, no, I don't want to change. They'll push you back. Okay. How to reduce it? So reduce it is that you make your friends, right? Friend with them. Okay. And how to activate it, do exercise. You vibrate yourself, okay, both physically and mentally. So how to activate yourself? A typical situation is that, you go to sleep and you kind of half wake or whatever, you wake up, then you probably eat your breakfast, and then you go to school, you start to get yourself energy, and you go up there further, and then you get your maximum productivity, then you feel tired, and you get less productivity, then you go back home and you go to sleep, right? A typical scenario of a day. And the amount of work you do is integration of this one. The displacement times force, right? That's what you generally say the work. Okay. But when I told you that I get up at 6:30 in the morning, okay, I do my exercise, activate myself already. I don't use sleep protocol because I maybe hurt my knees. I don't use treadmill. I use sleep protocol. You know how much? What is the heart rate I got in the morning? Just like you protocol?
130.
130. I got over 150. My heartbeat. Okay. Okay, you can look at the matrix, actually, how much heartbeat you should get, okay, to be healthy, right? And then if you go to different level, it gives you different kind of scenarios that say how healthy your heart would be, and so forth. Okay, that means before I came to the office, I'm already very energized, right? Okay. My brain, when I exercise, I listen to book, I listen to music, or think about what I should do. So previously, I like to go out and eat, So I found that I gained weight. So a few years ago, I forget how many, maybe 5 years ago, I found weight is increased. I can job. What should I do? I cut my lunch. So I stopped eating lunch for many years. So I only eat some nuts at lunch. Okay? And then I found that my weight get better. And then I found my weight goes up again. Then I was this time I was at a Greece conference. I told J.C. Zhao, right? J.C. Zhao, something know J.C. Zhao. He thought that he only eat 1 meal. He let the breakfast lunch go, and he eat a big dinner. He said. Then I said maybe I should give it a try, right? So since I came back from Greece, I forgot my breakfast. I don't eat breakfast, but I still like a banana. right? So I took a banana here, I eat a banana, but not for lunch. All right. Okay, I mean, that's just the different way to manage your life, right? So my weight still goes up, I think it's okay. The question?
I mean, part of that would just be getting older and eating less.
I could be too, because I cannot consume so much food anymore. My weight is going up.
Couldn't someone just flip the direction of time here and have the same area, wake up real slow and then go to sleep?
So you go up here, I mean, like this.
Yeah, like you start slow and then you like catch your day off.
Oh, but you see, the disease for this part is still same.
I don't know.
No, what I'm saying is that you can still exactly same. And whatever you do, this part, if you go up, you can still go up, right? Okay. What I'm saying is that you can do exactly same from the maximum up here. But just for before the maximum, you have double, more than double. You get the exact same up, same time. You get same o'clock, get up, that's fine, right? Before you do it, previously you do same o'clock, you have your schedule. Then you do the productivity, right? Now it's okay. Instead of the regular one, you 7 o'clock get up, I do some exercise. The total area will be double almost as you had before. Yeah, so you do exactly the same thing after that. Your mind is actually activates much more. Well, because I've been doing so many years now, if I don't do it, I feel my productivity drops a lot. So I have to keep this one doing that. I've been doing this one since I came to Penn State. Previously, I first did I do in the bodybuilding, the gym room. I 6:30 I get up, I go there, I exercise, I bring my lunch, breakfast, because the restaurant not open yet. So I exercise, I took a shower, I eat my breakfast, I come to office. Okay. But now then I found that it's not economic because it's expensive there. And then only I can use it. I could use it. So I decided I spend money body equipment in the basement. Then everybody in my family can use it. And then I can still stay at home for breakfast. Save money too. Okay, so last one is about coherency. Crystallography is coherent. It's very important, it's coherent. You want to be coherent with your environment. So the two very important alloys we develop in the human life is one is the aluminum alloy. Another one is titanium nickel alloy. Okay. Most of the car we have today, the engine block is made of aluminum alloys. The reason of aluminum alloy can sustain so high temperature is because of the coherency. It's because aluminum alloy has this coherent precipitates or semi-coherent precipitate. So it can sustain very high temperature. Same for nickel-based superalloy, is gamma prime coherent interface. Okay. The reason is that you want to be coherent. Coherent is very important. You have to be coherent with yourself. That means you believe what you're doing is what you want to do. Even though it's pretty very hard. So you have to have the goals and actions be coherent. Okay. You don't want to say it's because Dr. Lee wanted you to do it. That'd be big trouble. Okay. You want to be coherent. Then second one, you want to be externally coherent. You want to coherent with your family. Okay, you want to coherent with your friends, but of course, everybody's different, right? So the very important lesson for you is that if you don't have to, don't try to change other people. Okay, first, it's waste of time because you may be not appreciated. Okay, second one is that first one, you may waste your time. Second one is that may not be appreciated. So it may be hated. Okay? Because you want to try to change somebody. Okay. Of course, something you have to change, right? Yeah, but you want to help other people, that's the key. So help other people is not it's important that you don't do unsolicited help. You ask other people, do you need help? Okay. That's very important, extremely important. So you don't waste your time. And then we always know the miscibility. This is the miscibility gap. You know that? Those two face a miscibility gap. Both FCC face, one's order, one's disorder. But they are the same free energy function. Okay. Same thing here too. a same phase function, okay? So that means the missplit guy means, what does missplit guy mean? That means they're different, right? That means you have to accept, doesn't matter whom you interact with, they're different. So you don't try to correct them, you're wrong. No, it's just different. Okay, it's different. Yeah. So, but you still want to maintain coherent interface. I know that Dr. Shangla, we can marry, right? You know, your wife is good. Your wife or your husband is different from you. If you try to convince to change the other person, you'll be in big trouble. Okay, but you want to maintain coherency. Okay, you want to find the commonality, and you realize difference. Okay, never try to solve the difference. Then people, we should resolve the difference. No, you cannot resolve difference. Okay, different. Okay, you want to really find that okay, we're different, but see what we're in common. Let's focus on what we're in common. I know that everyone's different here, right? But I know we both want you to get a PhD degree. Let's just focus on a point. See how we can work out the best deal for everybody, right? Focus on the commonality, not on differences. Don't try to resolve differences. Okay, find the commonality, write a paper on it. Let's get one. All right. So my TKC is basically done now. First is that you set up your goal. It's very important. You have to get your goal clear. Okay. Be quantitative. And the multi-dimensional, have so many goals, right? I was telling my youngest son, I see in the college, in the graduate, you try to find a goal. He didn't. Okay. I think you should try that, right? Because that's the best opportunity to find a person which you will like. Yeah. But he didn't follow my advice anyway. But I could not force him. I just give advice. You know. You can only evaluate driving force when the states are defined, and you want to put 100% of your effort to that goal. Of course, you say, no, I cannot do that. I show the goals, right? But when you do one thing at that time, put 100%. That's very important. And you can reference state. Reference data, in my opinion, is that the place where you do it be big picture, because of you, it becomes better. I hope the department becomes me, it become better in the last 25 years. Okay. Connecticut, what is the best way to do it? Okay. Remember, every process has a barrier. The bigger the goal, the higher the barrier. You have to realize that. So ask people for help. Okay, very important because everybody's knowledge is limited, right? If you only stay in your knowledge, you'll be very confined. Ask other people for help. First one, if you do research, you look at the literature. There's so many people publish good papers there, right? Look at literature. Okay. And they try to help others. That's very important too, because that you probably know something more than other person, right? Help other people. Then you will get help. But the best route is the backward thinking. You have to be satisfied. That's very important. Okay. Because for example, you say I want to be millionaire. When I'm satisfied, but you make that satisfied fine. But maybe you made 800K. Not too bad. Yeah. But you have to have a goal there. But you have to be satisfied too, because you have a goals, you may not reach it. You have to be coherent with yourself, be in peace. Okay. How to do it better? Coherent, right? I mentioned here. Because when you have a coherent interface, when you have a conflict with dislocation, you can glide through. If it's not coherent, it's going to pile up. When it piles up too much, you're going to break it. And so you have to be elastic information most of the time, and be flexible. Be flexible. All right. So then, have you done anything, everything? So how can you be successful then? Of course, you have to define what successful is. Yeah. That's why it's so important to set up the goal, is that you reach your goal. That's a success. If you say that I want 2 papers, now you reach 2 papers, you get a success. If you make 3 papers, you'll be more joyful, more reaching more than the goal you set up, right? Okay. And the approaches you have to communicate. That's very important. Okay, because it's the communications. You have communicate with yourself first, okay? Make yourself coherent. It's one student sent me a message some days ago. He said he worked for a few days, in last several weeks, 10 hours a day for a few days. Then I told him that I work daily 10 hours. Okay. Average per week is more than 70 hours. But the point is that if you think that's a burden to you, you will be exhausted, right? But you think, I mean, 70 hours is actually working, not just thinking about it. Okay, that's not thinking. I started reply emails when I get up, when I drinking my morning drink. Okay, I started reply emails. I go to bed at 11:30 every day. Okay. So the point is that you have to love what you do. You have to think it's a part of you, right? Of course, I play golf. I go to visit friends. I take vacations too. But I don't take like 2 weeks vacation. I think that's a waste of time. I don't think you need 2 weeks to recover. But anyway, you have to respect the people. Okay. You have to listen. And a positive, confident, and a smile. That's important. Keep a smile. And you have to do your homework. You have to work diligently and thoroughly. Okay, that's why I have to read literature. You don't want to present things which is wrong, or even you do not check it. Okay. So how do you know that you made a success? Again, is that you have papers as a scientist. Because only paper, in my opinion, only papers, peer-reviewed papers can demonstrate you can renew knowledge, because back-to-back review. Okay, you can always say I worked very hard, and so that's fine. And you don't produce, the society will not care about it, right? So you have to be result-oriented. You have to ask why, learn from the experts. They have to communicate with people. They go back to the cycle. I would say ask questions. That's very important. If you cannot answer it, look at the literature. If you still cannot answer it as experts, then people can answer. If nobody can answer it, that's great. You answer. Right? That's where you get new knowledge. Today, actually, I was asking a question about diffusion. If you look at the diffusion equation, we calculate diffusivity, I found that a lot of things actually unresolved. Okay. The fundamental question is that the instability. Okay. For instability, we cannot calculate instability from phonon, because you have imaginary phonon. You can do integration. But I realized that essentially we can calculate fairness of unstable state. So if we can do that one, we should change transition state theory without removing that imaginary mode. Maybe we can write a paper on that. Okay, now we answered the question I had at the beginning. Why am I doing this, right? Now it's clear. Does it align with your goals? I don't know whether you notice people or not. How many people are working cell phone all the time? How many times did you pick up your cell phone and watch this non-useful news? Think about it. Think about it, okay? Think about yesterday. How many hours you spent on a cell phone? Think about last week. How many hours you spent on cell phone? How will that point to your goal? Very important. Ask this question will save you a lot of time. It's important. It's not what you do it or not. It's, do you want to do it? Yeah. Do you want to do it? But of course, that's the question. Does it align with your goals? Of course, you say, my son used to say, Daddy, you don't know you need that's entertainment. That's right, I know, because I know that I play golf, that's entertainment. But everyone's a different entertainment. That's fine. That's fine. But you have to realize that, okay? You are not doing that because the surrounding pushes you to that. It's because you want to do it. Okay. So your action, not a reaction. Okay. You're not reacting because your cell phone beeped. You're not reacting because your email said in your email. Okay. You want to act because, no, I think it's time to check my email now, see if there are any important things or not. That's action. Okay. All my things, all my phone, all my computer, it's no sound. Doesn't matter what everybody does. Email, I have no sound. Text message, no sound. Okay. I don't want to react to the surroundings. But of course, you say, oh, it's emergency. How many emergencies do you have in the last 20 years in your life? Very little. 1, 2. Okay. Why do you have those goals? It's important to have. Realize why do you have those goals, right? Why are those goals important to you? Remember that everybody has very limited life, right? Masila just passed away. He was 98. It's pretty long living. My father passed away when he was 76. If I follow my father's footsteps, I have 16 years left. 16 years left is very little time. Okay, but if you go with Masila, they have another 38 years. Okay, but the bottom line is fixed. It's fixed, right? How can you do it better? Okay, you have to love what you do. That's very important. Even you don't like that thing, or that thing is not your favorite. Probably people say, do you want to play golf every day? Well, probably it's not bad, right? But I would not want to play every day. Oh, right. Okay. You have to love what, but the important thing, it doesn't matter what you do. You have to love what you do. Then you will be happy. That's extremely important. You have to yourself be happy. Okay. But happy is not enough. Okay. Because the homeless people are probably happy too. Right? Maybe that person is happy there, right? Well, that person himself, he's happy, himself or herself is happy there. But if, when you look at it, he's not happy, right? Different reference thing. So you want to, I should go here, right? Doing what you love is freedom. Okay, so by love what you do, you reach the next stage, you will be doing what you love to do. Okay, and then the last one is that loving doing what you love to do. That doesn't make sense, right? Looks like, okay, but that's true. That's true because there are so many things you like to do, you cannot do it all the time, right? So I of course, it's just my grouping happiness. That's why I'm always happy. Okay. Sometimes people say, "Oh, professor is a terrible job." First, you have to deal with the students that don't want to learn, right? Second, that you have to write a proposal. 99% time, 90% of the time, get rejected, right? Okay. So this terrible job is there, but I say the best job. First, the student pay you already. You don't have to worry about if they live or not. They pay you already. It doesn't matter. It's not like if they study good, they pay you, right? No, they pay you already. Okay. So it's their job whether they learn or not. I get paid already. That's the first one. Second one, the professor is the proposal is pretty nice. It's 10% success rate. That's great. That is so innovative. It's so competitive, right? And you get it, you're good, you know. You're among this 100 professors there, you know. You're competing. You're smart. You can get money. Okay, but the success rate is so low, right? 10%. But that becomes good. Second to that, you write 50 pages, you can get $1 million. How many dollars per word? It's pretty good return, you know, right? And then you get a student to work with you. So students that again, you know, I pay you, I didn't pay you, I get money from somebody to pay you. Right? I don't take money from my pocket. Even more important than that, I influence you. I influence how you deal with the society, how you deal with people, how you deal with your future. And if I successfully influence you, you can influence the people, your family, if you become a professor, your student, right? Okay, so it's pretty good. That's positive impact to humanity. Okay, that's pretty good. So that's that. So I'm happy to do it. Then I can decide what to do because I decided the proposal. I decided exactly what the proposal, right? Nobody else tells me what to do. Of course, I have to make sure that the government will support me, give me money. But the only thing, right? If I can write my story, convince them, give me money, I can decide whatever I want. I have complete freedom. And of course, now if I get this cycle together, well, I'm so excited to come to office every day. I'm so excited to come to talk to every of you every time because to get a new idea. For example, last night I was preparing my talk. Then I realized that I didn't write an email to Niger. I wrote an email to Niger, talk about my ideas. Right? So I tell you, my brain is thinking all the time about problems, about challenges I have. I can start to solve it. Okay, my brain never stops working. If your brain stops working, what do you need a brain for? Should be useful. So after that, you ask why. Okay, you have to think about different levels. You have to be positive. You have to be so positive that if your proposal gets rejected, you say, "What's the big deal? I rather did it." Okay. When I came here, the senior professor told me you need to have strong stomach. I said, what do you mean? Well, you need to accept rejection because your proposal was rejected so often. Yeah. But I want to tell you that I'm pretty happy for my 20-some years. Every year, average, we get $1 million for our group. Yeah. No experiments, completely computational. Average $1 million. Think about this one, right? Each of you will cost around $80,000 a year. $80,000. Okay, so we have 10 students, 1 student, right? Times 10, that's $800,000. Just you guys pay you. $800,000. Okay, then Dr. Shang is expensive. I'm expensive. Okay, I'm more expensive. So you put together, we need $1 million to run the group per year. So that's pretty good, right? Think about this one. Huh? You just got to write a few pages, and the government said, "Fantastic, get the money here, $1 million. That's yours to spend." That's a big deal. So be positive. It's very important because there are so many. As I mentioned, nature is against you. It's not because somebody's one against you. Okay, that's the second law. Okay? That's just how nature works. All right. So I have back to my story. I grew up in a place in the mountain. Okay, it's called tungsten. It's a tungsten mine. I grew up in there. I stayed there for 15 years. I didn't go out of the mountain. Okay, I went to different places, you know, like fun as a young kid. We have to go to the mountains. I had to go to the mountains to collect the trees to burn. You know, we burn trees to cook everything. I had to go to the mountains to collect them. It looks a pretty beautiful place, right? So then I left that place. I went to Central South University. So that place is here. That's the place I grew up in the mountain area. That's actually what the Communist Party was there to hide many years ago. When the government trying to kill all of them, they had in big mountains, so the government could not find it. So when I was out there, and then I went to Beijing. It's a pretty long journey. And then I went to Sweden. I did the journey. How did I go to Sweden? And today it takes time, right? From Beijing to Stockholm, about 9 hours, I think. Okay, I didn't have money to do that, but I have time, you know. I have time. So so I took the train. I took a train from Beijing to Moscow, from Siberia. So that's 1 week, actually, 6 days about. So I made quite a few friends on that boat, on that train too. And also I experienced all this very beautiful landscape here. And then I stayed in Moscow for a day. I went to see Moscow University. I was so impressed by their subway. If you go to Moscow, their subway down to you know, it's I don't know how deep it is. Extremely much deeper than what in Beijing. Yeah, they say it's because they want to protect themselves. Then I took another train from Stockholm or from Moscow to Helsinki. Then I took a boat from Helsinki to Stockholm. Yeah, that's a pretty good experience. Maybe when I become older, I try one more time there. Then I came from. Then I moved from Stockholm to Madison, Wisconsin. That time we took a flight. Then I drove from Chicago, Madison and Chicago to State College, and stay here for 25 years now. End of this year was my 25th year. So I get the chair, rocking chair, so I can retire, so to speak. After that one. Okay, so you see, I have lived in 3 different cultures. So one culture is in Asia, in China. I was there for 20-some years. Then I was in Stockholm, Europe for 9 years. I traveled a lot in Stockholm, in Europe, to different countries. Then I came to the United States. People always ask me a question. So I have been in different places. Now, how do you describe the different cultures? What are your experiences? So I was thinking about that one. I was thinking, if you give me a question, I was thinking about it. So after some time, I said, I can figure it out now. I figured out one word for each culture. Then I keep increase, I give a quiz. For example, Alexander, tell me what's one word for America. Just think about it. You need to think about it. And then I can ask it, who is in Europe? Oh, yeah. She was Europe for a few years. What is the word for Europe, right? And many of you from China. So what is the one word to describe China, culture-wise, right? I tell about it, it's all related to their history, of course. And actually can all be interpreted by entropy. Alexander, you got any idea? Oh, did you heard about it already?
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about this, but I can't remember.
Oh, so we have Luke. Luke has not heard about it. Yeah, what is one word? If you think, even your word.
Trivially, I would say United,
United. One word. That's culture
or actually probably America is what I want to.
no, you want to describe the culture, right? Over there.
Describe the culture.
Oh, you think it would be standing out if you're American,
Diverse, probably.
right?
Diverse.
Diverse. Okay. Diverse. That's partially correct. No, not correct. Partially with my idea too. Yes.
I would say close.
Close.
Already know the answer.
You know the answer. Okay. So I give the answer. In the Asian culture, king. Okay. So everybody needs to that king. The king has a structure in penetrated the society. Okay. So what it means is that you always look it up. See who will give you some instruction what to do. Okay. So of course there are a lot of words to describe it. Describe this culture. Okay. So like I tell you, that's why the Chinese culture has been for so long. Has been 5,000 years, people say. Okay. I would say at least 2,000 years. Even though there's so many external forces trying to break it, right? But it's not broken. Okay, because everybody think I'm an individual of the big organization. I need to follow the organization not to survive. Then, if so many people think that way, it's very difficult to break that system. It's almost impossible, and it shows that. For example, if you look at the culture, because I was I worried, not worried, I was thinking negatively before, I said that China had so many wars, right? It's always, you come together, 100 years, 20 years, then you break again, you come back again, it's always like that. 5,000 years like that. But however, because they always actually, I'm looking for the king, I'm looking for who's our king, right? That kind of culture, so even though they were broken, they come back again, always come back. Of course, it's one important that they have the word, the language. That's important. They have the same language. If you don't speak our language, you have to learn our language. Even though you speak different language before, even though you kind of you kind of rule our country, but you have to learn our language. So that was important. You have the culture. So it's good, both good and bad. It's not good and bad. It's just you have to analyze it. Okay, that's why this culture can sustain so much disruptions, and it still be there. That's just amazing, right? You would think it should be gone for a long time. Okay. So you look upwards. How many directions you can look? You only have 2 directions, 3 directions. Go up, right? Look around, look down, right? There's only 3 directions. Okay. And in Europe is reason. Everything in Europe, we talk about a reason. You want to do anything, we have a meeting to discuss what we should do. Okay. And then you look around. What did John think about it? What did Lucas think about it? What did Hui think about it? What did Sean think about it? Let's form a consensus. Then do something. Okay. It's always reasoning. That's why it's so kind of harmonic. You have your independence, it's harmonic, but they move pretty slowly. Okay. Sometimes they move fast. Sometimes, but most times it looks pretty slowly. Okay. And then it's individualism in the United States. Okay. You look upwards. You look downwards. Okay. You look inside. You always think about what you can do, what I can do. Can I put a computer desktop on everybody's desk? Okay. And even like what Steve Jobs says, people don't know what they want. Put it on the table, they like it. Okay. Of course, Elon Musk is not extreme, right? Think about it, how could it be a small company started to take over the launch of satellites? And NASA, Boeing, GE have done so many years, right? How could if you think about SpaceX could succeed? It is unbelievable. Okay, that's because they believe that I'm gonna give it a try. If I fail, so what big deal? I failed. Okay. And of course, you know that all the big companies we have today, most of them are started from either the basement or garage, right? Or in the student dorm. Okay. Started with one person, 2 people, 3 people, right? And you look all most of Fortune 500 are from the United States. It's because you have this creativity. Creativity is not going to happen. You have the king structure. It's not going to happen fast enough when you have to form consensus. Okay, it only happens that be crazy yourself. Okay, dig a big hole in your backyard. See what you find there. Who knows? You maybe find the next Microsoft. Right? It just shows that. I really, that's why I like the United States. You know, in 1996, we were in Europe, and we decided we don't want to stay there anymore. Okay, a couple of reasons. First, I want to become professor. It's very hard to find a professor there. Okay, I have to wait until my professor retire. I'll go to change the system after change the system sometime later on that. Secondly, I found is that there's one big problem, challenge in Europe, is that each country has its own culture, and each country has its own language. Okay, so it's so hard to form that means they have their own identity, right? I cannot be Swiss. I cannot be French. I cannot be German person. I cannot, right? But we know the United States is different, right? There's nobody is originally in the United States except the American, the Native American. But of course, today we know it's a very small population. So countries from outside, that's one thing. Second is that we said if we are thinking to go back to China, okay, at that time. So but we said, you know, US is so strong, so big country in the world, superpower, we should experience the United States before we decide, right? That's one reason, 2 reasons, right? One, experience the United States. I want to become professor. So we came here. I have 2 boys, 96. One of them is 5 years old, less than 5 years old. Another is 3 years old. And in Sweden, in general Europe, you know, you follow the rules, and you'll be very quiet most of the time, right? Okay, kids. So they're very quiet. Actually, in Sweden, it's very, I mean, in general, they always word called the cheese, quiet, quiet. They always say that, quiet, you know, be quiet. 6 months later, we came in February, just in the summertime, my 2 kids completely changed. They talk all the time. They smile all the time. It's so dynamic, you know, they change. So that's what I said. I told with my wife, so that's we want to stay in the States now, you know, because you can see the energy people have, you know. People are so energetic, to excited about what they do, right? They can express all their opinions. That's why we stay in the United States. That's how many years now? Could be 28 years, right? 28, 29 years now. Okay. All right. So I think I probably forget this to introduce, but I want to point out this red text here. A house with active kids are very good because they make it messy. They produce entropy. They follow the natural rules. Okay. If you don't do that, you should worry about it. Maybe it's abnormal. Okay. If you don't make a mess. Okay, I talked about this already. I talked about 2 papers. I talked about this entropy. So it's important that this entropy is, I hope this could be important contribution we have. If you look at this equation here, the blue part was different from the conventional statistical mechanics. And in the entropy term here, in these 2 terms, this is 0, and that is energy, not entropy, okay? Not for energy. Today I'm looking at the paper still. The community is not fully accepted here, right? But that's okay. We will get more results and publish them. Okay. I have a few quotes to conclude. You have to keep trying new things. Not all of them will be successful, but some will be. If you don't try it, you will not go far. You will not go far, okay? And you do your best at this moment, put you in the best place for the next moment. You want to push life around or be pushed around by life. When you're a student, if you don't push around, you'll be first pushed by me. Okay? So you want to push around things, okay? So come to see me if you have any question. Come to see me if you have any achievements. Okay. If you don't come to see me, I will come to see what's going on. Have you got any good results? Okay. It's always for everything else is the same thing. Okay. Push around, don't be pushed around. Everything you do becomes a legacy of your history. You cannot change it anymore. Okay. For example, John cannot change his last 4 years here already, right? That's done. You cannot change it. Okay. But you have to believe that you have to enjoy everything you do. Okay, everybody here, do better than your best, but be happy all the time. I think I have one more slide, I believe. The 10 pancake story. How many have heard my 10 pancake story, right? Okay. The 10 pancake story goes like this. After the market, a farmer went to a restaurant for a meal. He ordered 1 pancake and he enjoyed it, but not full. He ordered a second one and ate it, but still not full. So after 9 pancakes, he was still not full and got frustrated. Okay. Then he said he decided to order the 10th pancake. Then he got full, but he was angry. He called the manager of the store, the restaurant owner. He said he get a refund for the first 9 pancakes. The reason is because the 10th pancake made him full. The first 9 pancake should get a refund. Okay. I tell you, this sounds funny story. I tell you, so many people make that kind of mistakes. Okay. Make mistakes. So you have to be persistent. Make sure you eat the 10th pancake. Okay. But you have to be flexible. You have to understand it. You have to be smart. I understand, oh, my 10th pancake made it before. It's because I had 9 pancakes there before. Okay. Okay. I want to read a book, if you have not, called How Will You Measure Your Life? By Clayton Christensen. He got his PhD, was 30-some years old. He became professor at Harvard or MIT, I forget now. I tell you that I listen to books every day when I drive. I don't listen to news. I don't watch TV. I don't read newspapers because I think that's all non-useful to me. People say, how do you get news? I said, what do I need this news? Okay. Well, different opinions. Okay, so I listen to books. Before we had the iPod, I had the local library, slow library. I borrowed a bag of CDs or tapes, put in the car. I drive it, I change the CD, I listen to it. I listen to, I don't know how many books, okay, many books. And then we had iPod, now we have iPhone, now we have Audible, okay. This is the best book. I probably have hundreds of books. That's the best book, okay. If you ask me what second best book, is called The Brain Changes Itself. That's the second best book, I think. But of course, you don't have to agree with me. I finished that book, A Theory About Everything. Have you started that book yet?
Which one is it?
The theory for nearly everything.
Oh, the Bill Bryson?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't started that.
I finished it. Okay, I finished it. That's a decent book, but not the first 2. Okay, it's more like okay, everything is okay. The bottom line is that so many people don't understand. Of course, we don't understand, right? Yeah. Okay, more stories. I have a lot more stories, but we're not going through them all of them. I have my own stories. I talk about one story, right? I talk about my advisor in 1982. That story. Okay, but then turned out I was this student he likes the most. Okay. I was the first student he invited home for dinner. He had single student, he never invited anybody to home for dinner. Okay. He did so many good things for me after that. he worked so hard getting me to get a job in university. Okay. Okay, the story is that focus on what you want. Act, not react. Okay, I have many stories. Actually, I was thinking another story here. I haven't put on there. I had another story for 2022. Okay, I went to Cambridge on my sabbatical. Okay. And some story I could put there too. Then I learned out many other stories too from other people. And maybe during the time I can, during the semester, I can give a couple of stories. I talked about the elephant story there. It turned out that J.B. Purdue had that elephant in his paper. I sent that paper to you today, right? Email. Every time for the elephant. Okay, I want to show that one. I even compiled the image to show different stories. My advisor passed away in 2010, I believe. Okay, 2010. My advisor 2009. That's what I met him last time. Okay, so I finished. I believe that's my last slide, just to be sure. Yeah, a lot of audiobooks, but I'm not going there. I might just show that the paper I sent to you. Okay, I think I can stop the recording now. I can keep it as okay. So where's the one sent to you? Do you know how many emails I send out every year? I had a chart. I'm going to show that next time. Okay. Of course, I start with, but I have been leveled out around 10,000 emails every year from my outbox. Okay. 10,000 emails. Sorry?
Not the one, the screen.
It's good, right? This one, right? Okay. See, I think it's this paper. He showed the elephant. I was so happy. He sent me the paper to me.
Another one.
Another one? Okay. The second one. This one, right? Oh, this one, see? Here's the elephant in the picture. I told him that. I use that story all the time. That's why you don't see me argue with people. I don't argue with people. Because first that they have that view is because they have the machine, right? That the machine set up one. The first one. Second one, that it's not my job to convince that person what it should be, okay? Unless you are my students. Okay? So a student have to convince you that well, we have to be on the same page, right? So to speak. Okay. If we're not on the same page, you have to tell me why you're doing that. Hopefully, then can form a paper to publish it, right? At the end of the day. So I like this one a lot. Okay. Because if you're going to try to correct somebody, as I mentioned, most time you waste your energy. Okay, waste your time. If you show what you do, people will see that. Okay, they will say, that's a good way. So let them realize that. Or they come to ask you. Then you say, okay, see, that's why I do like this. That's why it's, I think it's correct. Okay, so that way you can be very efficient. Okay, because you only have, I don't know, 80 years. Now you have 20-some years. You have 50 years left, 60 years left. Okay, and you cut off what you sleep. You don't have much time left. It's not much time. Okay. All right, with that, I want to thank you, and I wish everybody a productive semester and a productive PhD study, and a enjoyable life. You never know when the life will end. When it ends, it ended already. Okay. You cannot redo it, right? You cannot redo it. All right, thank you very much. Any questions? I think I'm going to stop the recording now. Yeah, here it is. Stop. Maybe I put it on YouTube. Who knows?